The average sale price for homes in Saskatoon rose by 7% in 2025. Will prices in Saskatoon continue to rise through 2026, or will they finally stabilize? My name's Ryan Guenther, and I'm a local realtor with Realty Executives Saskatoon. If you find any of the information in my video helpful and want to connect with me, all my information will be in the description box below, or you can drop me a comment and I'll connect with you there. In this market video, I'll highlight what's happened with the Saskatoon real estate market throughout 2025, breaking down activity in condos, townhouses, as well as detached homes. I'll also compare and contrast how the market changed throughout 2025 and how the first few weeks of 2026 feel a little bit different than the same time last year. And finally, I'll give my predictions on what I feel is ahead for the winter market here in 26. It's no secret that sale prices have been on the rise almost all year in 2025. We ended 2024 with an average sale price of almost $398,000, and presently, closing out 2025, we're at almost $426,000. There's no doubt that property is worth more now than it was earlier in 2025. However, it is interesting that the average sale price for this past December was $415,000, making that $10,000 under the yearly average. And while that's likely attributed to the natural seasonal slowdown through late fall throughout the winter, it is interesting to note that when I made my fall market video a few months back, October had also seen the average sale price in October being lower than the yearly average for the first time all year. So that'll just be something to keep track if sale prices continue around the $415,000, $420,000 average in the coming months, or does it go back up and get up and over $425,000, leading to an average sale price increase throughout 26. Moving on to inventory counts and sales numbers in 25, there was 1.7% more sales in 2025, which is only a couple hundred units compared to 2024. However, there was 7% more new listings throughout 2025 than there was in 2024, which is a relatively substantial amount of more inventory into the market than the previous year. Even back in July, I noted that listings were up 5% at the time. So we had more inventory throughout the slower parts of the year and also the busier parts of the year than 2024. And even with more inventory, our average sale price rose 7% on the year. And then when we got into late spring and the peak summer months, we were anywhere from 55 to 60% of all sales being at or above their list price, which is huge. Transitioning into later summer throughout the fall months, and we were down to about 40 to 45% or so of all sales being at or above the list price. Still enough presentation of offers and a very competitive market. And now in the first 2 winter months of 2025, we're down to about 1/3 or 33% of all sales being at or above their list price. So it started quite high for the winter and early spring of 25. It grew to an astronomical number throughout the summer, and then it started to taper off through the fall and into winter. And I wouldn't say that the prices of properties are decreasing a whole lot. It's just the urgency and the incredible competition is having less and less of those properties selling way above their list price, which is why December and the later part of 25, the average sale price on the month dropped below the yearly average. You know, it's not like prices are magically being listed a whole lot less. It's just the buyers aren't blatantly overpaying in competition quite as much. And we still don't have enough inventory to really warrant a balanced market, The current month supply or absorption rate between condos, townhouses, and detached are all tied at 1.6 month supply. And while that ultimately isn't quite enough, it's better than what it was earlier in the year, where in the summer of this year, we had a 1.2 month supply in overall detached and a 0.9 month supply in condos and townhouses. So inventory has came up more in the later part of the year, while the sale prices have came down a little bit. And while the overall month supply has came up, a lot of the stuff is in the higher priced or new build category. For example, if you're shopping for a detached home right now, between $250,000 to $450,000. So anywhere near that first-time home buyer detached home, the month supply is 0.96, so less than 1. And the most competitive price range in $50,000 increments for detached homes would be between $400,000 to $450,000 with a month supply of 0.7. That means that as of January 1st, there was 14 listings for detached homes between $400,000 to $450,000, whereas in the month of December, there was 20 sales. And then for condos and townhouses, the most competitive price range this past December was $300,000 to $350,000, with 16 active listings as of January 1st, 17 sales in the month of December, making for a month supply just short of 1. As far as predictions go, at the start of this video, I had mentioned that right now in January feels a little bit different than it did in January of last year. And what I meant by that was last year, anyone who bought a house in January or February likely paid more than they would have if they bought in the fall in 2024. Because the prices continued to go up throughout late fall 24 all the way through what should be the best time to buy as a buyer in the winter of 25. There was really no slowdown in the prices increasing. However, this year, the last couple months have seen a lower monthly sale price than the rest of the year. So I personally feel that right now, if you're a buyer, might be a fantastic time to buy, to beat the rush of everyone getting into it in spring, because it definitely feels like some of the buyers are still sleeping a little bit since the holidays. And once spring does hit, or even the March melt, and people start sort of thinking about spring, I think prices are going to continue to rise all throughout 2026, or most of in the peak months. Likely not quite as fast as they did in 25, but there's no doubt the exact same house is going to be worth considerably more in fall of 26 than it is right now. So if you're in the market, reach out to me and let's figure out a strategy to get you the best deal on a house this winter. And if you happen to be a seller, reach out to me so we can figure out how to position your property above all the competition. Again, I'm Ryan Guenther with Realty Executives Saskatoon. If you want to connect with me, all my information will be in the description box below. Until next time.